Hello, this is Short Stories. Today's story is The Wolf in Sheep's Clothing. This classic tale should be familiar to you, as it is so famous that it became an English idiom that refers to a hidden threat. However, you may not know about the twist ending in this tale. Before we begin the tale, I'm going to read the vocabulary. Disguise. Disguise. Sherlock disguised himself as a beggar in order to investigate a murder. Fleece. Fleece. I made this sweater out of high-quality fleece. Graze. Graze. The sheep grazed in the field. Mutton. Mutton. The farmers ate roasted mutton for dinner. Ravenous. Ravenous. The sheep was eaten by a ravenous wolf. Scrawny. Scrawny. Rick was tired of being scrawny, so he started going to the gym. Shear. Shear. The shepherd sheared his sheep. Vicious circle. Vicious circle. The new tariffs could cause a vicious circle of lower economic activity. Now for Derek to read the story.
Once upon a time, there was a scrawny wolf. The wolf was so scrawny that he was too weak to hunt, thus pushing the poor creature into a vicious circle. The thinner he was, the less he could hunt, and the thinner he became. The wolf resolved to get himself out of this dire situation through a novel form of hunting. The wolf crept up to a sheep farm and observed the shepherd shearing some of his flock. The shepherd took the fleece and stored it in the shed near the sheep pen. The wolf waited until night to sneak into the shed, which was not locked, and stole some fleece. The next morning, the sleepy shepherd took his flock out of its pen and herded it to a nearby hill to graze. That's when the wolf saw his chance. He skillfully draped the fleece over his body and mingled among the grazing sheep. He, laughed the wolf to himself. This is the perfect disguise. Tonight, when the shepherd takes us back to the sheep pen, I'm going to have a feast. That evening, the shepherd guided his flock back into its pen, just as the wolf had predicted. The shepherd stood at the gate and counted his sheep as they went in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. His counting was interrupted by a long yawn. Oh man, all this counting is making me sleepy. Fortunately for the wolf, the shepherd failed to notice the extra sheep in his flock. After closing the gate, the shepherd returned to his cottage to prepare his dinner. The sun was low in the sky at this point, and the wolf eagerly awaited the moment it sank behind the hill, which would provide him with sufficient cover to begin his ravenous feasting. He laughed. Mutton's on the menu for tonight. One of the neighboring sheep heard him and said, "You're probably right." The wolf paid no attention to the sheep's comment, as he was so distracted by his own grumbling stomach. Much to the wolf's annoyance, the shepherd returned and entered the sheep pen. The wolf tried to lay low and act casual. He even tried to bleat like a sheep, but wound up coughing instead. The shepherd stopped next to the wolf and said, "I'll take this one." Before the wolf knew what was happening, the shepherd took out his knife and slit his throat. "This one will make a fine mutton stew," said the shepherd as he took the wolf's carcass, still clad in sheep's clothing, to the butcher shed.
The questions. Number 1. Why was the wolf so thin? A. Because he couldn't hunt. B. Because he wanted to fit into his skinny jeans. C. Because he had a tapeworm. D. Because he took Ozempic. The answer is A. Because he couldn't hunt. Question 2. What was the wolf's plan? A. To run for president. B. To disguise himself as a sheep. C. To create his own meme coin. D. To eat Little Red Riding Hood. The answer is B. To disguise himself as a sheep. Question 3. What happened to the wolf in the end? A. He ate all the sheep. B. He ate half the sheep. C. He opened a chic clothing store. D. He died. The answer is D. He died. Question 4. What is probably the moral of this story? A. A lie has no legs to stand upon. B. Heaven helps those who help themselves. C. A friend in need is a friend indeed. D. Never get involved in a land war in Asia. The answer is A. A lie has no legs to stand upon.